All right, so here's the thing. Every time Kate Rountree comes here from Lafayette General...
We hide all the junk food? No.
Well, no,
Look, I don't even have any.
The problem is I feel like I need to take out my insurance card because the information that she gives us is so great. Good morning. How are you?
Hi. Thanks for having us again.
Look, I am nowhere near your level of expertise, but when I tell you just the small things you have told us along the way...
Yes.
I mean, I tell people all the time, like when they're standing up eating at a party, like, you need to sit down and you need to fix one plate because you're just going to eat for 4 hours straight, you know? And then, you know what? It happened this weekend. We were visiting some family up in Minnesota. There was 23 inches of snow outside.
Oh,
so
gosh.
what did we do?
Eat.
We just ate. And then like 2 hours later, like, all right, let's take the air fryer out. Hey, let's do this. And it was like Thanksgiving all over again. So now we're getting ourselves back on track.
Back on track.
And we're going into the summertime, which is, I think, what a lot of people are a little bit more conscious of their physical existence. Because, you know what? You're going to the pool. You're going out with the kids. You're running around.
Showing extra skin.
Showing extra skin. And you know what? You can work on getting rid of some of that skin. At least what's under it.
Right.
Part of that is with Eat Fit, and that's a new thing that is kind of taken over Acadiana a few weeks ago. Yvette Quantz, who joins us today, she came by. She brought by some of these approved Eat Fit meals.
Delicious.
Which a lot of times has to do with the sugar content, and there's a lot of scary things that you might think you're just looking at calories or just looking at fat. Well, guess what? Food marketers know that, and they know if you're looking for something super low calorie, you're going to buy it, but you might not look at everything else in it. So let's talk about the whole Eat Fit experience, how it plays into what you do at Lafayette General Health, and what it's about.
So Eat Fit is an initiative that started back in 2012 in New Orleans with a dietitian by the name of Molly Kimball at Ochsner. And now it has become this huge entity. It's a nonprofit organization that has taken over New Orleans and Baton Rouge, and now is coming into Acadiana and Lake Charles. And so Yvette is our local Eat Fit marketing and operations dietitian. And with Lafayette General being a community partner of Ochsner, and because Yvette and I are great friends.
Which is always important.
Which is always important.
Yes. Like a forced friendship.
Exactly. Yeah. And so as it became apparent that it was coming into Acadiana, Lafayette General said, we've got to get behind this. And it ties right in with our mission. To be able to provide our community with another resource to eat appropriately.
So I think the coolest part that I think about this whole thing is the culture we live in is not necessarily conducive to healthy eating. When we moved away from Acadiana for the first time and we would meet new friends and they'd say, hey, you want to meet at the park? And it was like it was so foreign to us because what do we do here? You want to meet for lunch?
Right.
Want to have dinner? Want to go have drinks after? You know, and you start to think about, oh my gosh, we consume so much more here, and it's not always the best, but you can do it in a healthy way, and you're teaming up with a bunch of restaurants here.
Yes, we are, and we just went live with Blue Dog Cafe, and it's so great to see such Cajun good food, fresh food that's also Eat Fit approved. Mm-hmm. And so you can go to your favorite restaurants and have fun. People always say, well, how are you going to do that in Acadiana? You know food is our love language. Mm-hmm. Well,
rice is our love language.
Let's clarify, right?
With anything on it.
And so I say, we don't want to go in and take that away from you, but it's more empower you to go in and be able to enjoy your time with your friends, with your family, and enjoy good food. Eat Fit food is supposed to be full of flavor, and it's going to be good for you food and rich in plant-based fats. So it'll be low in the animal fats, but it's going to be rich in those plant-based fats, which will give it that flavor and that make it very satisfying. And then the herbs and spices that can be used to bring down the sodium. It will be low in added sugar, but it can have some natural sugar.
Yeah. I want to ask you about this. So is there a list somewhere that people can find what restaurants are involved?
We have an app.
Okay.
So an Eat Fit app. You can go and download the Eat Fit app.
Bernie's got it already. She was going for it.
And there are a few cool features. Our app just got updated. So you can download the app. You can enter in our zip code, and you can see the current restaurants. And we are certainly working with some new restaurants that are not live yet. Mm-hmm. And people can always submit that they want their favorite restaurant to be an Eat Fit partner. Or if you own a restaurant, you want to be an Eat Fit partner, you can always contact us. On the app, you can also find Eat Fit approved recipes. Mm-hmm. So, yes.
so you can just kind of see, especially
you can
when
just
it comes
cook
to,
at home. You can just find.
I want to talk a little bit about adults that are picky before we let you go, because you know what, it's easy to say, here's a cookie cutter meal plan.
Sure.
And you look at half the things and you're like, don't like Brussels sprouts, don't like broccoli, salad's not my deal. Can I just have the chicken that you're putting on top?
Right.
And that plays a big role in it too. What is kind of the first step for you if you're taking on a new client who just says, look, I'm picky. I eat like a 7-year-old and I'm 37.
Well, oftentimes in our clinic, that comes up very often, more often than you would think. And so one of the goals that we have is to say in a month's time, if I'm not going to see them again for another month, let's try and incorporate 2 new vegetables, let's say, since you brought vegetables up, into your day or into your repertoire of food choices before you come back.
Because it's a marathon.
A
lot of people want weight loss to be a sprint.
Right.
And it's not. It's a
not.
month to month.
I have been on my marathon now for almost a year.
Yeah.
I'm 6 weeks away. I'm 6 weeks away from having actual continual exercise for a whole year at a time, when I was facing some really because you get to the point where you kind of, at one point you're like, I'm just giving up. And the arthritis, I'm just going to let it take over my body. So, but you don't have to do that. Look, I just downloaded the app.
Awesome.
I'm ready to go. I was already in the Kate Rountree house, if you will, in her tree house. I had already been following her plan, and people have been seeing the pounds that have gone off of me already.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for what the next year holds. Now Absolutely. I have this app, which is more, where I can go. So if I don't even want to think about it.
There you just go.
You just go there to that.
Well, and one thing
place.
I think that's important to mention is Louisiana as a whole, of course, we're known for our food.
Yes.
We're currently, between New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Acadiana, I would say over 300 restaurants are partners across the state.
300's only in New Orleans.
So that tells you something, that we can still eat really, really good food at really, really good restaurants in a healthier way.
I have not stopped eating, and I certainly have not stopped eating at restaurants in the last year.
Well, and that's why I think a lot of people worry about making a huge lifestyle change. No, that's where, I kind of got back to the social part of it. That's where we socialize.
Right.
That's what
Absolutely.
we do. So you can go, you can even, look on the app. I'm sure the restaurant, they're educated as well.
And the menu's going to have a seal. The menu item will have an orange seal that specifies that menu item as being Eat Fit approved.
Great idea, guys.
Which I love, because see, then you don't even have to think about it.
You don't even have to think about it.
Right. It tells you exactly what to do.
I mean, seriously.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a suggestion of someone to follow on Instagram if you want some inspiration. So
perfect.
So the name is Fed Up Fat Girl. Fed Up Fat Girl. And
it's not my app or Instagram.
It's not Bernie. But what she did was made a decision that I'm going to eat healthier, but I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to cook every meal at home. I'm not going to whatever. And you never want to be that person that takes a picture of your food every time it comes. Right. However, that's what the whole purpose of this Instagram is. And you start to look and you're like, wait a second, there are options. Maybe you're going to a nice steakhouse. You can say you don't want the butter. Right. There are little things you can make here and there.
It makes a difference.
It does. And, Pennington Biomedical Research, we had this story 6 weeks or so ago, and it stunned Rob and I. And it was like, oh, my Lord. Because my real motivator is the 3 nights in a row that I spent with neuropathy. Right. So people think, oh, okay, that's just some diabetic neuropathy. They have stuff to cure that. That's on TV, so that's going to be all right. Until you spend 3 nights in a row and you haven't slept and you had no idea what that meant before.
Right.
And so that will motivate you.
And what was that stat from Pennington?
So the stat is that half of the people in the state of Louisiana are either diabetic or pre-diabetic.
Shocking.
So half of the people in this state, we have to learn how to eat well.
Right.
And enjoy the things that we love, but we've got to turn it around, not only for the, let's say, financial side of it, because we have so many expenses in healthcare in our state, but for ourselves personally, we're going to go to our graves earlier.
Absolutely.
If we don't change it.
I like to say Eat Fit empowers people to make better choices, to make them live better.
I know it's going to be even twice as easy as it was for me now.
Yes.
And it took a whole minute and a half for that app to download. I was like, yay.
I'm telling you, awesome. Pretty quick.
Yvette Quantz, Eat Fit Acadiana. You can find the app in the App Store. Take it along with you. Recipes, restaurant items, and everything else. Kate Rountree, of course, our voice of reason when it comes to calories and everything else.
Yay!
We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. We love being here.
All right, it's 8:23 now at News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Coming up, we're going to give you an update about that Southwest plane issue that happened yesterday and the really cool story behind the pilot of that plane. Going to say God put her there on purpose. We're going to tell you about that all coming up.